Your husky just let a complete stranger pet them, and you're wondering if they even love you. They do. They're just built differently. Imagine you've just arrived at the park with your husky, Coda. You're feeling proud. The two of you have bonded deeply, gone on long walks, snuggled on the couch through rainy evenings. You know this dog loves you. And then a stranger walks by. Maybe they're in a hoodie. Maybe they're carrying a coffee. They glance at Coda, crouch down and say, "Oh, what a beautiful dog." And Coda absolutely loses it. Tail spinning like a helicopter, body wiggling, practically climbing into this stranger's arms like they've been best friends for years. You stand there, leash in hand, thinking, would it kill you to at least pretend to be a little protective of me? If you've ever felt that quiet sting, that tiny, embarrassing pang of jealousy when your husky greets a stranger with more enthusiasm than they gave you this morning, you are not alone. Husky owners everywhere share this exact experience. Some even joke that their dog would happily lead a burglar to the jewelry drawer as long as the burglar pet them first. But here's what most people don't realize. That enthusiastic, indiscriminate, over-the-top friendliness, it's not a flaw. It's not a sign that your bond isn't special, and it's definitely not a sign that Coda doesn't love you. It's actually one of the most fascinating pieces of dog evolution you've probably never heard of. To understand why your husky acts this way, we need to go back, way back, to one of the most remote, unforgiving places on Earth. Thousands of years ago, in the frozen reaches of northeastern Siberia, lived a semi-nomadic people called the Chukchi. The land they inhabited was brutal. Temperatures that could drop to -50 degrees, vast tundra with almost no shelter, and a survival margin so thin that one bad season could mean the end of an entire family. The Chukchi needed dogs. Not just any dogs. They needed dogs that could pull sleds for hundreds of miles, that could survive on almost nothing, and that could live in intimate, cramped conditions with human families. These dogs weren't kept outside in kennels. They slept inside the family shelter. They slept in piles, tangled together with children, elders, and anyone else who needed warmth to survive the night. Think about what that required. A dog that snapped at a child in the night wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a death sentence for the bond between human and animal that made survival possible. The Chukchi, over hundreds of generations, selectively bred for one specific temperament trait above almost all others, an almost aggressive openness to people. Any dog that showed territorial aggression, suspicion of strangers, or hostility toward new pack members was removed from the breeding pool. What they created was a dog that was, to borrow a phrase, aggressively friendly. Not aggressive in the way we typically think of the word, but driven, enthusiastic, almost compelled to connect with every human they encountered. Warmth wasn't just a personality quirk for these dogs. Warmth was survival. The friendlier the dog, the more welcome it was in the family circle. The more welcome it was in the family circle, the warmer everyone slept. And the warmer everyone slept, the longer everyone lived. Centuries of that kind of selective pressure produced a dog with something almost unique in the canine world, a total absence of stranger danger. Your modern husky carries those ancient genetics. When Coda wags their tail at someone they've never met, they're not being disloyal. They're doing exactly what thousands of years of human intention designed them to do. Now there's another layer to this that goes beyond just friendliness with people. It has to do with how huskies think about resources, space, and ownership. Or more accurately, how they don't. Consider the sled team. On a long haul across the tundra, a team of huskies might run for hours at a stretch. They eat together from the same food source. They rest in a pile. The lead dog doesn't have a special sleeping spot that the others can't approach. There's no ownership of the best patch of snow. In that environment, resource guarding, the behavior that makes some dogs growl when you come near their bowl, would have been catastrophically disruptive. A dog that refused to share, that snapped over food or space, that viewed parts of the trail as mine, would have broken the cohesion of the entire team. So the Chukchi bred that out too. Territorial behavior, resource guarding, the instinct to defend stuff. All of it was selected against. What remained was a dog with almost no concept of mine versus yours. Everything is shared. Everything is communal. The world belongs to the pack, and the pack is open to everyone. This is why Huskies make notoriously bad guard dogs, and why they couldn't care less about protecting the house. The idea of defending a territory is simply not part of their operating system. When you ask your Husky to be suspicious of strangers, to bark at the mailman, to guard the front door, you're essentially asking them to fight against 10,000 years of deeply embedded genetic programming. It's like asking a golden retriever not to love water. The instinct runs too deep. But here's the part that most Husky owners miss entirely. A Husky that greets stranger with an open, joyful, tail-wagging enthusiasm is not a confused dog. It is not an untrained dog. It is not a dog that has failed to form a deep bond with its owner. It is a confident dog, a secure dog, a dog that has been given, by the people who care for it, such a stable and loving foundation that it can move through the world without fear. Fear is actually the engine behind most protective behavior in dogs. A dog that growls at strangers, that barks when someone approaches the house, that places itself between you and an unknown person. That dog is often acting out of anxiety. The world feels threatening to them. A Husky who greets a stranger with a wagging tail and a wiggling body is telling you the exact opposite. They feel safe. They trust the world. They walk into new situations expecting good things because their experience, the experience you have built for them, has consistently delivered good things. That openness is not naivety. It's the behavioral expression of emotional security. And yes, breed plays a massive role here. Huskies were engineered for this, but environment reinforces it. A husky that had been neglected, mistreated, or chronically stressed would not greet strangers with an open heart. The fact that your husky does, that's partly the Chukchi's gift, but it's also yours. We've been taught, by movies, by culture, by generations of dog stories, that the loyal dog is the protective dog, the dog who barks when danger approaches, the dog who stands between you and a threat. That is one version of love. It is real, and it matters. But it is not the only version. Your husky has a different love language, one written into their DNA by a people who understood that warmth and connection were not weaknesses. They were the most powerful survival tools available. When your husky curls against you at night, when they follow you from room to room, when they throw their head back and howl because you've been gone for 3 hours, and that was clearly 3 hours too long. That's devotion. Deep, ancient, unshakable devotion. The fact that they also greeted the stranger at the park with equal enthusiasm doesn't diminish what they feel for you. It confirms it. It tells you that you have raised a dog who is not afraid, not of people, not of the world, not of life. And that fearlessness, you gave them that. So the next time Coda launches themselves at a stranger like they've just been reunited after years apart, take a breath. Let yourself smile. Because what you're watching isn't a betrayal. It's a gift. A window into the soul of a dog that was bred across millennia to show up in the world with an open heart. And if that dog chooses to come home to you at the end of the day, to sleep beside you, to rest their head on your lap, to look up at you with those pale, ice blue eyes, then you already know the answer to the question you were never really asking. They love you. They're just also built to love the whole world.